What if I told you that the money you've been praying for is already on its way to you right now, and the only thing standing between you and that breakthrough is understanding how to align yourself with the frequency of abundance? I know that might sound impossible, especially if you've been struggling financially for what feels like forever, but stay with me until the end of this video, because what you're about to discover has already changed lives in ways that might seem almost unbelievable. Just 3 days ago, I received an email from David in Chicago. He told me something that gave me chills. After years of financial struggle, barely making ends meet, he experienced something he calls a miracle. Within 24 hours of applying the principle I'm about to share with you, he received an unexpected deposit of $3,000 into his account. Now, before you dismiss this as luck or coincidence, let me tell you about Linda. She runs a small online business that had been barely surviving, maybe. Making a sale here and there, nothing consistent. But something shifted. After she aligned herself with what Florence Scovel Shinn called the divine supply, her entire shop sold out in a matter of days. Has this ever happened to you? You try everything, work hard, pray harder, but the money just doesn't come? But before we dive deeper into this, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Here's what most people don't understand about money and abundance. Florence Scovel Shinn, one of the greatest teachers of prosperity consciousness, taught us something profound. What man speaks, he begins to attract. Think about that for a moment. Your words aren't just sounds vibrating in the air. They're creative forces that shape your reality. When David declared his prosperity, when Linda spoke abundance over her business, they weren't just hoping or wishing. They were activating something much deeper, something that exists in the spiritual realm before it manifests in the physical world. You see, Scovel Shinn also taught us that the game of life is a game of boomerangs. Whatever energy you send out into the universe comes back to you, often multiplied. But here's where it gets interesting, and what you're about to discover might surprise you. Most people have been sending out the wrong signal their entire lives without even realizing it. They've been tuned into the frequency of lack, of struggle, of not enough. And then they wonder why money seems to avoid them, like they have some kind of invisible repellent. Right now, as you're reading these words, something is already beginning to shift in your energy field. You didn't find this message by accident. There's a reason you're here at this exact moment. And what I'm about to reveal to you about the spiritual laws of prosperity. Right now, as you're reading these words, something is already beginning to shift in your energy field. You didn't find this message by accident. There's a reason you're here at this exact moment, and what I'm about to reveal to you about the spiritual laws of prosperity is going to completely transform the way you think about money, success, and your own worthiness to receive abundance. Let me tell you about Sam. For months, he had been chasing this one client, a high-paying opportunity that could change everything for his business. He did all the right things on the surface, followed up, sent proposals, made calls, but nothing was working. Then something shifted in his mindset, a fundamental transformation in how he approached not just this client, but his entire relationship with prosperity. Within days, that client who had been saying maybe later suddenly said yes. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this principle deeply when she wrote, "There are no obstacles in divine mind. Therefore, there can be no obstacles in my way." Sam stopped seeing the client as an obstacle to overcome and started seeing himself as someone who naturally attracts high-value opportunities. But here's where this journey gets truly fascinating. And this is the hidden truth that most people never discover. The money doesn't show up after you do the work. It begins moving towards you the moment your energy shifts. David, Linda, Sam, they all reported something remarkable. The breakthrough started happening before they even finished aligning themselves with this frequency. Money appeared, opportunities opened, Doors that had been closed suddenly swung wide open, all while they were still in the process of transformation. This isn't magical thinking. This is understanding how the universe actually operates behind the scenes. Scovel Shinn taught that faith knows it has already received and acts accordingly. Think about the profound impact of that statement on your daily decisions. When you have faith, real faith, you don't wait for the evidence to believe. You believe first, and the evidence follows. That's the natural order of manifestation. The spiritual realm responds to your conviction, not your doubt. Your inner certainty creates an energetic blueprint that physical reality must follow. If this resonated with you, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next message that's meant to find you. There's so much more we're going to explore together about unlocking your divine prosperity. Most people have been taught backwards. They think, show me the money, then I'll believe. But the laws of prosperity work in reverse. You must embody the consciousness of abundance first, feel it as already done, speak it as already true, and then watch as the universe rearranges circumstances to match your inner state. This is why David received money within 24 hours. This is why Linda's business exploded seemingly overnight. This is why Sam finally landed that client. They aligned first, then reality shifted to meet them. Now, I want to go even deeper into this revelation because understanding the mechanics of how this actually works will change everything for you. Write in the comments, I receive abundance now, if this resonates with you. There's something I need you to understand about this very moment. Your presence here, reading these words right now, isn't coincidence or random. Chance. The universe operates with precision, orchestrating encounters and revelations at exactly the right time for each person's journey. Think about all the decisions you made today that led you here. The choices, the clicks, the seemingly mundane moments that brought you to this exact message at this exact hour. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this divine choreography when she taught that unexpected channels are unused by God, and He now opens His unexpected channels of supply. You are standing at one of those unexpected channels right now. The universe has been preparing you for this financial breakthrough, moving pieces behind the scenes while you were focused on your daily struggles. Every hardship you faced, every bill that stressed you, every moment you wondered if things would ever change, all of it was leading you to this point of transformation. This isn't motivational talk. This is recognizing the hidden truth about how divine timing operates. When you're ready to receive, the message appears. When you're aligned for breakthrough, the pathway reveals itself. Now here's where your participation becomes crucial, and this is going to feel different from anything you've done before. The act of declaring your prosperity isn't passive wishful thinking. It's an energetic activation that sends ripples through the spiritual realm. When you speak words of abundance, when you claim your blessings by your divine right, you're not begging or hoping. You're announcing a truth that already exists in the quantum field of infinite possibilities. Scovel Shinn was absolutely clear about this. By your words, you are justified, and by your words, you are condemned. Your words carry creative power. They shape your reality more than any action you could take in the physical world. This is why I'm going to ask you to do something that might seem simple but carries tremendous impact. When you engage with this message, when you declare, I claim my blessings by my divine right, you're participating in an ancient spiritual law. You're speaking life into your financial situation. You're aligning your consciousness with the frequency of prosperity. This isn't superstition. This is understanding that your voice, your declaration, your willingness to claim what belongs to you creates an energetic shift that the universe must respond to. Think about the implications of this revelation. How many times have you spoken words of lack over your life? How often have you said, I can't afford it, or money is tight, or I never have enough? Each of those statements was also a declaration, but one that reinforced scarcity. Every word you speak is programming your subconscious mind and broadcasting a signal to the universe about what you expect to receive. The transformation begins when you consciously choose different words, words that reflect the abundance you desire rather than the lack you currently see. What I'm sharing with you goes beyond positive thinking. This is about recognizing your divine right to prosperity and speaking it into existence with authority and conviction. Put in the comments, "I claim my divine prosperity," if you're ready to step into this truth. When you say the words, "by my divine right," you're tapping into something that goes far deeper than most people realize. This isn't about asking permission or hoping that maybe, if you're lucky, prosperity might come your way. This is about recognizing a fundamental truth that's been buried under years of conditioning and false beliefs. Abundance is your spiritual inheritance. It's woven into the very fabric of your existence. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this when she declared, "God's will for me is perfect health, happiness, and prosperity." Notice she didn't say God's will might be prosperity, or could be prosperity if you work hard enough. She said it is prosperity. That's your birthright, your natural state, the default setting of your soul before the world taught you otherwise. Most people approach money like beggars at a gate, hoping for scraps, grateful for whatever small amount they can get. But that mindset keeps you locked in lack. The transformation happens when you shift from asking to claiming, from hoping to knowing, from begging to receiving what already belongs to you. This isn't arrogance. This is alignment with spiritual law. The universe doesn't respond to desperation or pleading. It responds to certainty, to conviction, to someone who knows their worth and isn't afraid to claim it. Here's the revelation that changes everything. Your waiting period is over. Right now, not tomorrow, not when you finally get that promotion or when your circumstances change. Right now, as you absorb these words, you're transitioning from a season of preparation into a season of reception. All those years of struggle, all those moments when you wondered if your breakthrough would ever come, they weren't wasted time. They were building something in you, strengthening your spirit, deepening your capacity to receive and handle the abundance that's now ready to flow into your life. Scovel Shinn wrote something profound. The long arm of God reaches out over people and conditions, controlling the situation and protecting my interests. Think about the impact of that statement on your current situation. While you've been focused on your problems, worried about your bills, stressed about your finances, the divine has been working behind the scenes. That long arm has been reaching across time and space, arranging circumstances, positioning people, opening doors, all orchestrated to bring your harvest to you at precisely the right moment. The waiting period ends when you decide it ends. Not when your bank account looks different, not when external circumstances shift, but when you internally declare that you're done preparing and ready to receive. This is a decision, a choice you make in your consciousness that sends shockwaves through the spiritual realm. You're no longer in training. You're no longer getting ready. You're ready now, and the universe is about to prove it to you in ways you couldn't have imagined. Now let me show you exactly what happens energetically when you make this shift from waiting to receiving. Write, "My harvest is here," in the comments if you can feel this truth resonating in your spirit. I know what you might be thinking right now. You've tried this before, haven't you? You've watched videos about manifestation, read books about the law of attraction, maybe even prayed desperately for things to change, and nothing happened. Or worse, things got harder. Those disappointments, those moments when you felt foolish for believing, when you wondered if any of this spiritual stuff actually works, they cut deep. They made you skeptical, cautious, afraid to hope again, because hoping and failing hurts more than not hoping at all. But here's the hidden truth that nobody tells you about those so-called failures. Florence Scovel Shinn revealed something that completely reframes every disappointment you've ever experienced. Every disappointment is a blessing in disguise. Those delays weren't the universe ignoring you. They weren't proof that you're somehow not worthy or that these principles don't work. They were divine orchestration, preparing you, positioning you, building something in your character that you needed before you could handle the level of abundance that's coming your way now. Think about it from a different perspective. If David had received that $3,000 5 years ago when he first started seeking financial breakthrough, would he have been ready? Would he have had the wisdom to steward it properly? Sometimes the journey through struggle teaches you things that prosperity never could. It teaches you resilience, gratitude, discernment. It shows you who you really are when everything is stripped away. Those weren't wasted years. They were your foundation being built, your capacity being expanded, your spirit being strengthened for what's about to happen. Every failed attempt at manifestation was actually preparing you for this moment. You're not starting from zero. You're starting with all the wisdom, all the growth, all the transformation that came from those experiences. And now you're ready in a way you never were before. The universe doesn't operate on your timeline. It operates on divine timing, and divine timing is always perfect, even when it feels frustratingly slow from your limited human perspective. Here's something that might give you chills. You haven't randomly stumbled upon this message. Out of billions of people on this planet, millions of videos online, countless pieces of content competing for attention, you found this one. Or rather, it found you. Because you've been specifically selected for a financial elevation. This isn't me trying to make you feel special. This is me revealing how the universe actually works behind the scenes. Scovel Shinn taught that the divine design of my life now takes shape in definite, concrete experiences leading to my heart's desire. There's a design, a blueprint, a plan for your life that's been in motion since before you were born. Every experience you've had, every decision you've made, every twist and turn in your journey has been leading you to this exact moment of revelation. The universe needed you to be exactly where you are right now, with exactly the experiences you've accumulated to receive what's coming. This isn't about luck or chance. This is about divine selection, about being chosen for breakthrough, because you're finally ready to receive it and use it in alignment with your purpose. Let me show you what happens next when you truly understand this level of divine orchestration. Type, "I am ready," if you recognize yourself in this journey. When you look back at your financial struggles, I want you to see them through completely different eyes. Those moments when you couldn't pay the bills, when you had to choose between necessities, when you felt the weight of lack pressing down on you, they weren't evidence that you were failing at life. They were the universe doing something profound beneath the surface of your awareness. Florence Scovel Shinn revealed a truth that most people never discover. Every man has within himself a gold mine. Notice she didn't say some people have gold mines or rich people have gold mines. She said every person carries this treasure within them. Your struggles weren't blocking you from that gold mine. They were actually clearing the path to it. Think about real gold mining for a moment. Before you can extract the gold, you have to dig through layers of rock and dirt. You have to break through hard surfaces. From the outside, it looks like destruction, like nothing valuable is happening. But every strike of the pickaxe, every shovelful of earth removed, is necessary to reach the treasure that was always there, waiting beneath the surface. Your financial difficulties were that excavation process. They were removing the layers of false beliefs, clearing away the conditioning that told you money was hard to get or that you weren't worthy of abundance. Show Me This message reached you by hitting that like button. It's a simple way to say yes to your abundance and help this reach someone else who needs to hear it right now. Every time you persevered through hardship, you were digging deeper into your own inner gold mine. Every time you chose hope over despair, even when your circumstances screamed otherwise, you were clearing another layer. The treasure was always there. The abundance was always within you. It just needed the journey, the transformation, the character development that only struggle can provide to fully reveal itself. Now let me share something that will shift your entire perspective on waiting. You know how a farmer plants seeds in the ground? For weeks, sometimes months, nothing appears above the soil. If you didn't know better, you'd think nothing was happening. You might even think the seeds died, that your effort was wasted. But beneath that dirt, invisible to the eye, An entire universe of activity is taking place. Roots are spreading, drawing nutrients from the soil. The seed is transforming, breaking open, sending shoots downward and upward. All of this miraculous growth is happening in the dark, in the hidden places where no one can see. Your blessings have been doing exactly this. While you've been looking at your bank account, at your circumstances, at the visible evidence, and wondering when things would change, the universe has been working in the invisible realm. Scovel Shinn understood this when she prayed, "Infinite Spirit, open the way for my great abundance. I am an irresistible magnet for all that belongs to me by divine right." She knew that abundance grows first in the unseen dimensions before it manifests in physical reality. Those roots of prosperity have been growing beneath your awareness, strengthening, expanding, preparing for the moment when they break through the surface and you finally see the harvest that was developing all along. The waiting wasn't punishment. It was germination. And just like a seed that's about to sprout, there's always that final moment underground, right before the breakthrough becomes visible. What I'm about to reveal next will show you exactly where you are in this growth cycle right now. Comment, "My roots are strong," if this metaphor resonates with your journey. You've been living in what I call the underground growth phase, and most people give up right before they break through because they can't see what's happening beneath the surface. This is where faith becomes absolutely critical. Florence Scovel Shinn taught something that sounds almost impossible when you're in the middle of struggle. Man must prepare for the thing he has asked for when there isn't the slightest sign of it in sight. Read that again. When there isn't the slightest sign, not when you see a little progress, not when things start improving, when there's absolutely no visible evidence that anything is working. This is the test that separates those who receive breakthrough from those who stay stuck in cycles of almost. The universe is watching to see if you'll maintain your faith, your declarations, your alignment with abundance, even when your physical circumstances are screaming the opposite message. Because here's what's really happening in that underground phase. You're establishing roots in the spiritual realm that are so deep, so strong, so unshakable, that when your harvest finally breaks through the surface, nothing will be able to stop it or take it away from you. Those roots of prosperity aren't just about money coming to you. They're about you becoming someone who can receive it, hold it, multiply it, and use it wisely. The universe has been building something in you during this invisible growth phase. It's been developing your character, your wisdom, your capacity to steward abundance in alignment with your divine purpose. If the money had come earlier, before those roots were established, it would have slipped through your fingers like water through a sieve. But now, right now as you're absorbing these words, something has shifted. Your season is changing. The underground growth phase is complete. The roots are established. The transformation has occurred in the hidden places, and your harvest is ready to break through into your visible reality. This isn't someday. This isn't eventually. This is now. Scovel Shinn declared with absolute certainty, "I now reap the harvest of my good work," and I'm declaring that same truth over you in this moment. Can you feel it? There's a change in the atmosphere around your life. The energy is different. The waiting period that felt like it would last forever is coming to an end. Everything you've been through, every tear you've cried, every moment you almost gave up but didn't, it was all preparing you for this season of reaping. The harvest doesn't come gradually. It comes suddenly, abundantly, in ways that surprise you and exceed what you thought was possible. This is your moment to collect what you've spiritually sown. Every prayer you spoke in faith, every declaration of abundance you made when your bank account said otherwise, every time you chose to believe in your divine right to prosperity despite the evidence, those were seeds planted in the spiritual realm. And seeds always produce a harvest that's exponentially greater than what was planted. One seed becomes a plant that produces hundreds more seeds. Let me show you exactly what this harvest season looks like in practical terms and how to position yourself to receive everything that's coming your way. Write, "I receive my harvest," if you can sense this shift happening right now. There's something Remarkable that's been happening during your time of struggle that you probably didn't realize. Every single time you kept going when quitting seemed easier, every moment you helped someone else, even when you barely had enough for yourself, every act of generosity, when it made no logical sense, you were building something invisible but incredibly powerful. Think of it as spiritual credit accumulating in a divine account that only the universe can access. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this principle deeply when she declared, "God is my unfailing supply, and large sums of money come to me quickly, under grace, in perfect ways." Notice the phrase "under grace." That means the abundance comes not through struggle or force, but through divine favor, through the spiritual credit you've been accumulating without even knowing it. Every kind word you spoke, every time you chose faith over fear, every moment you stayed true to your values despite the pressure to compromise, all of it was deposited into an account that's now ready to pay out. The universe keeps perfect records. Nothing you've done in alignment with love, generosity, and faith has gone unnoticed. Those moments when you gave your last bit of money to help someone and trusted that more would come? Recorded. Those times you treated people with kindness, even when you were stressed about your own situation? Noted. The nights you prayed, not just for yourself, but for others who were struggling. All of it accumulated as spiritual currency that's about to convert into physical abundance in ways that will astonish you. But here's where it gets even more fascinating, and this is the part that will completely shift how you see your current situation. While you've been focused on your daily challenges, paying bills, handling responsibilities, worrying about tomorrow, the universe has been playing an intricate chess game on your behalf. Behind the scenes, invisible to your awareness, pieces have been moving into position. People you haven't met yet are being guided toward you. Opportunities are being prepared. Doors are being unlocked. Circumstances are being arranged with precision timing. Scovel Shinn revealed this hidden truth when she taught that man's part is to be ready to receive his infinite good, while God handles the logistics, the connections, the how and when. You don't need to figure out every step. You don't need to control every detail. Your job is simply to be ready, to maintain your alignment, to stay in the frequency of expectation and gratitude. The universe is handling the complex orchestration of bringing your breakthrough to you through the path of least resistance. Think about a chess grandmaster playing multiple games simultaneously. They see patterns and possibilities that beginners can't perceive. They make moves that seem random until suddenly, checkmate appears out of nowhere. That's how the divine operates in your life. What looked like setbacks were actually strategic positioning. What felt like delays were actually perfect timing. The universe was moving your opponents out of the way, clearing the board, setting up your victory. Right now, as you read these words, the final pieces are moving into place. The game is reaching its climax, and you're about to see the strategy that's been unfolding behind the scenes all along. Right? The universe has my back. If this resonates with where you are right now, there's an energetic shift happening around your bank account right now that's so subtle most people miss it completely. It's like the change in air pressure before a storm, or the way the temperature drops just before snow falls. You might not see it yet, but if you pay attention, you can feel it. The frequency surrounding your finances is transforming from the heavy, dense energy of lack into the light, flowing energy of abundance. This isn't metaphorical. This is actual energetic transformation occurring in the invisible realm that governs physical reality. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this dynamic perfectly when she wrote, "The supply is ready, but the demand must be made." Think about what that means. The abundance you need already exists in the quantum field of infinite possibilities. It's not being created from scratch. It's already there, waiting, ready to flow into your life. But it needs you to make the demand, to claim it, to call it forth through your words and your consciousness. That's why your participation in this activation matters so profoundly. You're not begging for something that might not exist. You're demanding what already belongs to you. Every time you declare your prosperity, Every time you claim your divine right to abundance, you're creating an energetic pull that draws the supply toward you. It's like opening a valve that allows water to flow. The pressure was always there. The water was always available. It just needed the pathway to be opened. Your declarations, your faith, your willingness to believe before you see, these are the actions that open the valve and allow abundance to rush into your experience. Now let me paint you a picture that will help you understand exactly where you are in this transformation process. Have you ever watched the sky just before sunrise? If you're looking at the horizon in those early morning moments, you'll notice something subtle. The darkness doesn't suddenly become light. There's a gradual shift, almost imperceptible at first. The black slowly transitions to deep blue, then to lighter blue, then hints of purple and pink start appearing. If you weren't paying attention, you might miss these early signs. But they're there, quietly announcing that the sun is coming, that dawn is inevitable, that darkness is about to give way to brilliant light. That's exactly where you are right now in your financial journey. The dawn of your prosperity is breaking. The transformation is already underway. Just because you can't see the full sunrise yet doesn't mean it's not happening. Scovel Shinn taught her students to say, "I look with wonder at that which is before me," meaning you approach each moment with expectation, knowing that the unseen is becoming seen, that the spiritual is manifesting into the physical. This requires a different kind of vision, a way of seeing that goes beyond your physical eyes. You're being asked to trust the shift happening in dimensions you can't perceive with your five senses. The energy around. Your money is changing right now. The frequency is rising. The blockages are dissolving. And just like that sunrise that's still hidden below the horizon, but inevitable, your financial breakthrough is on its way. Let me reveal what happens next as this dawn continues to break over your life. Comment. My dawn is breaking, if you can sense this transformation beginning. Here's where most people get it completely wrong, and this misunderstanding keeps them stuck in financial struggle for years. They approach prosperity like it's something outside of themselves that they have to hope might come their way if they're lucky enough, or worthy enough, or if the universe feels generous that day. But that's not how any of this works. You're not hoping for money. You're not wishing it into existence. You're unlocking wealth that already exists in the energetic field surrounding your life right now. Florence Scovel Shinn made this crystal clear when she declared, "I do not limit God by seeing limitation in my own life." Read that carefully. The limitation isn't in the universe. The limitation isn't in divine supply. The limitation is in your perception, in the barriers you've unconsciously placed around what's possible for you. This activation you're experiencing right now is systematically removing those self-imposed barriers. It's like you've been living in a house with locked doors to rooms filled with treasure, and you're finally finding the keys. The wealth was always there. The abundance was never absent. You just couldn't access it because your consciousness was tuned to the frequency of lack, and those invisible barriers were blocking the flow. But as your awareness shifts, as you understand your divine right to prosperity, those barriers dissolve. You're not creating abundance out of nothing. You're unlocking access to what was always yours, what's been waiting for you to claim it. Now let me reveal something that will fundamentally transform how you think about money itself. Most people see money as this physical thing, paper and coins, something scarce and limited that you have to fight for and hoard because there's never enough. But that perspective keeps you trapped in poverty consciousness. Money isn't primarily physical. Money is energy. It flows, it moves, it circulates. And like all energy, it naturally gravitates towards certain frequencies and away from others. Scovel Shinn understood this deeply when she taught that money is God in manifestation, as freedom from want and limitation. Think about the profound impact of seeing money through that lens. It's not separate from spirituality. It's not the opposite of divine things. Money is actually a spiritual substance taking physical form, a tool that the universe uses to provide freedom, opportunity, and the ability to fulfill your purpose on this earth. When you understand money as energy, everything changes. You stop gripping it with tight fists, afraid it will disappear. You stop seeing it as scarce or hard to get. Instead, you recognize that like any energy, it wants to flow. It moves toward openness, toward gratitude, toward people who understand its true nature and treat it with respect, but not desperation. You become a channel for money to flow through rather than a dam trying to hold on to every drop. This shift in perception is revolutionary because it means you're no longer operating from fear and scarcity. You're operating from abundance consciousness. Recognizing that money, like air or electricity or any other form of energy, is constantly available, constantly flowing, constantly seeking pathways where it can move freely and create impact. The question isn't whether there's enough money in the universe. The question is whether you're creating the energetic conditions that allow it to flow to you and through you. Right, money flows to me if this new understanding is clicking into place for you. Right now, as you're absorbing these words and shifting your understanding of money as energy, something remarkable is happening at the deepest levels of your being. You're being rewired. Your energetic circuitry is being reconfigured to naturally attract wealth the same way a magnet effortlessly attracts metal. This isn't something you have to force or constantly think about. Once this rewiring is complete, attracting money becomes as natural and automatic as breathing. Florence Scovel Shinn revealed the mechanism behind this when she taught that the things we think about expand. Your attention is creative power. Whatever you focus on consistently grows in your experience. For years, maybe decades, you've been focused on lack without even realizing it. Focused on the bills, on what you don't have, on the struggle, on the fear of not having enough. And what happened? Those things expanded. They grew. They dominated your experience because that's where your attention was directed. But now you're making a conscious decision to redirect that attention toward abundance. Every time you declare your prosperity, every time you claim your divine right, every time you see money as flowing energy instead of scarce resource, you're strengthening your magnetic pull. You're becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts opportunities, resources, helpful people, and unexpected income. The universe doesn't differentiate between you and someone who was born wealthy. It only responds to the frequency you're broadcasting right now. Think of your consciousness like a radio. Every radio has a dial that determines what station you're tuned into. For most of your life, you've been tuned into the struggle station. That station plays a constant soundtrack of worry, stress, not enough, hard times, and financial anxiety. You didn't choose that station consciously. You inherited it from your family, absorbed it from your environment, learned it from a world that teaches scarcity from childhood. But here's the beautiful truth. You can change the station anytime you want. Right now, through this activation, through these revelations, through your willingness to see money and prosperity differently, you're turning the dial. You're tuning away from the frequency of struggle and tuning into the frequency of abundance, ease, and divine supply. Scovel Shinn gave us the perfect prayer for this transition. I cast this burden on the Christ within, and I go free. That burden of poverty consciousness, that heavy weight of financial struggle, you're releasing it right now and stepping into freedom. The moment you change the station, you start receiving different signals. Different opportunities appear. Different people cross your path. Different ideas come to you. The circumstances of your life begin reorganizing themselves to match the new frequency you're broadcasting. This isn't magic. This is how energy works. Like attracts like. The frequency you emit determines what you receive. Some people can actually feel this shift happening in their body right now. A lightness in the chest, a release of tension, a subtle sense that something fundamental just changed. That's not your imagination. That's the actual rewiring occurring, the frequency adjusting, the magnetic field around you recalibrating to abundance. Now I want to show you exactly what happens when you maintain this new frequency and how to recognize the signs that your magnetic pull is working. Type, I am tuned to abundance if you can feel this. Shift taking place. When your energetic signal finally matches the frequency of wealth, Something extraordinary happens that operates by universal law, not by chance or luck. Money must respond to you. It has no choice. This is as reliable as gravity, as predictable as the sun rising each morning. When you're vibrating at the frequency of abundance, wealth flows toward you the same way water flows downhill, following the natural path of least resistance. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this principle completely when she affirmed, "I am now linked with an abundance of prosperity of every kind." Notice she said linked, meaning connected, bonded, inseparably joined to prosperity through vibrational alignment. This isn't about deserving or earning or proving yourself worthy. This is about physics, about energy responding to matching energy. When a tuning fork vibrates at a certain frequency, any other tuning fork tuned to that same frequency will automatically begin vibrating in response, even from across the room. They're linked through resonance. That's exactly what's happening between you and money right now. As you shift into abundance consciousness, as you maintain this higher frequency, wealth in all its forms begins resonating with you and moving toward you automatically. But here's something that might surprise you, something that could completely free you from years of guilt and shame about your financial past. The universe doesn't care about your mistakes. It doesn't judge you for the bad decisions you made 5 years ago, or the opportunities you missed, or the times you failed. Energy is completely impartial. It doesn't have opinions about your worthiness. It doesn't keep a scorecard of your failures. It simply and perfectly responds to the vibration you're emitting right now in this present moment. Think about electricity for a moment. When you flip a light switch, does the electricity ask whether you deserve light? Does it check your history to see if you've been good enough to receive illumination? Of course not. It simply flows to wherever the circuit is complete, wherever the pathway is open. The universe operates the same way with prosperity. It's not withholding abundance from you because of who you were or what you did. It's simply waiting for you to open the circuit, to match the frequency, to become a clear channel for flow. Scovel Shinn revealed this liberating truth when she taught that God's work is finished and the divine design of my life is made manifest. Past tense. Finished. The abundance you need already exists. Your prosperity is already designed, already complete in the spiritual realm. It's not being created based on your worthiness or your past performance. It's already done, waiting for you to align with it, to claim it, to step into the reality that's been prepared for you since before you were born. This means every moment is a fresh start. Every breath is a new opportunity to broadcast a different signal. Your past doesn't define your future unless you keep dragging it with you through your thoughts and beliefs. The transformation happening right now is severing those old chains, releasing you from the prison of past mistakes, and anchoring you in the present moment where all power exists. What this reveals about your capacity to change your financial situation instantly is going to shift everything. Comment, "I am worthy now," if this truth is setting you free from past guilt. The shift you're experiencing right now isn't just a mood change or a temporary boost of optimism that will fade by tomorrow. This is a fundamental vibrational transformation from scarcity consciousness to abundance consciousness. And this single shift is the difference between people who struggle financially their entire lives and people who seem to effortlessly attract wealth. Everything flows from this internal state. Your external circumstances are simply mirrors reflecting back whatever consciousness you're holding inside. Florence Scovel Shinn gave us a powerful declaration that establishes this prosperous internal state. I am poised and powerful, loving and harmonious. Feel those words for a moment. Poised means balanced, centered, unshakable. Powerful means capable, confident, in command of your reality. Loving means open-hearted, generous, connected to divine flow. Harmonious means aligned, at peace, in sync with universal abundance. When you embody these qualities internally, prosperity has no choice but to manifest externally because your inner world creates your outer world. Most people have this backwards. They think once they get the money, then they'll feel poised and powerful. Once circumstances change, then they'll feel harmonious. But that's not how creation works. You must become it first, feel it first, embody it first, and then reality rearranges itself to match. This is the hidden truth that separates those who break through from those who stay stuck. The breakthrough happens on the inside before it shows up on the outside. Now here's something important you need to understand about how the universe actually delivers your financial blessings. Despite what some teachers might suggest, money doesn't usually materialize out of thin air and land in your lap while you're sitting on your couch. The universe is far more creative and practical than that. It works through natural channels, through opportunities, through people, through ideas that pop into your head, through coincidences that aren't really coincidences at all. Scovel Shinn captured this perfectly when she wrote, "Unexpected doors fly open, unexpected channels are free." The key word is unexpected. You might be looking for money to come from your job, and it shows up through a random refund. You might be hoping for a promotion, and instead someone offers you a completely different opportunity that pays even better. You might think you need to work harder, and instead, an old client suddenly returns with a big project. The universe sees pathways you can't see, connections you haven't made, possibilities you haven't considered. This is why trying to control exactly how your breakthrough arrives actually blocks it. When you decide money must come through this specific avenue in this specific way, you're limiting infinite intelligence to your finite understanding. You're closing off all those unexpected doors and channels because they don't match your predetermined plan. The art of receiving is staying open, staying alert, staying receptive to surprises while maintaining absolute certainty that abundance is finding its way to you through whatever pathway offers the least resistance. Your job isn't to figure out the how. Your job is to maintain the frequency, to stay aligned, to keep declaring your prosperity, and to act on the opportunities and ideas that start showing up. The universe handles the logistics, the timing, the connections behind the scenes. Let me reveal the specific signs you should watch for over the next few days that prove this is working. Right, unexpected doors are opening if you're ready to receive through channels you haven't even imagined yet. The universe has an unlimited creative arsenal when it comes to delivering your financial breakthrough, and this is where things get exciting, because you never know which channel is about to open. It might be a job offer that comes out of nowhere from someone you met years ago. It could be a client who suddenly decides to hire you for a project you'd forgotten about. Maybe it's an investment opportunity that crosses your path at exactly the right moment, or someone finally paying back money they've owed you for months or years. I've seen people receive unexpected tax refunds, insurance settlements they didn't know they were entitled to, inheritance from distant relatives, winning competitions they casually entered, getting upgrades and discounts that saved thousands, finding money in old accounts they'd forgotten existed. The universe is infinitely creative and surprisingly practical when it comes to moving wealth into your life. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this when she prayed, "Infinite Spirit, open the way for my immediate supply. Let all that is mine by divine right now reach me." Notice she didn't specify how the supply should come, only that it should come immediately through whatever channel divine intelligence chooses. This is why the next few days and weeks require something crucial from you: heightened awareness. Your breakthrough might not announce itself with trumpets and fanfare. It might show up quietly as an idea that pops into your head while you're in the shower. It might appear as a casual conversation that leads to an unexpected opportunity. It could be a side project you started months ago, suddenly gaining traction, or a business concept that finally clicks into place, and you see exactly how to monetize it. Some of the most significant financial breakthroughs I've witnessed started with the smallest, most ordinary moments: a random phone call, an email in the spam folder, a conversation in line at the grocery store, a forgotten subscription refund. The universe doesn't always deliver in dramatic fashion. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it leaves subtle breadcrumbs. Your responsibility is to stay alert, to pay attention, to be what Scovel Shinn called awake to your good. Being awake to your good means you're not sleepwalking. through life anymore, missing the opportunities that are constantly presenting themselves. You're conscious, you're present, you're receptive. When someone mentions something in passing, you catch it. When an idea strikes, you write it down. When a door cracks open, you notice it instead of walking past. This alertness is not paranoia or hypervigilance. It's a state of relaxed awareness, of trusting that your good is seeking you while remaining conscious enough to recognize it when it arrives. Most people miss their blessings because they're looking for something grand and obvious, while their breakthrough is showing up in humble, everyday packaging. They're waiting for $1 million to fall from the sky while ignoring the $100 opportunity standing right in front of them. They're hoping for the perfect job offer while dismissing the networking conversation that could lead there. Now I need you to understand something about timing and divine orchestration that will help. You recognize what's happening. Comment, "I am awake to my good," if you're committing to this heightened state of awareness. There's a paradox at the heart of receiving abundance that trips up so many people. And once you understand this, your entire approach to prosperity shifts. The paradox is this: the tighter you try to control how your money arrives, the more you block it from coming at all. When you decide it must be through your current job, or it has to come from this particular client, or it needs to show up in this exact amount at this specific time, you're essentially telling the infinite intelligence of the universe that your limited human perspective knows better than divine wisdom. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this trap completely when she reminded us that unexpected doors fly open, unexpected channels are free. The word unexpected is crucial here. If you could predict it, plan it, and control it, it wouldn't be unexpected. Your rigidity, your need to micromanage the details of your breakthrough actually creates resistance that blocks the flow. It's like trying to force water through a kinked hose. The pressure builds, but nothing comes out because you've crimped the line with your insistence on controlling the path. Releasing control doesn't mean being passive or giving up. It means staying active in your alignment, maintaining your frequency, declaring your prosperity, taking inspired action when it presents itself, but remaining flexible about the route your blessing takes to reach you. Maybe you thought you needed a raise, but the universe sends you a whole new career opportunity instead. Maybe you were focused on one income stream, but abundance flows in through 3 different unexpected sources. Trust the intelligence that's orchestrating this. It sees connections and possibilities your limited view can't perceive. What's happening right now, in this very moment as you're shifting your consciousness, is that you're broadcasting a completely new signal into the world. Think of it like a radio tower that suddenly switched frequencies. Everyone around you, whether they realize it consciously or not, is picking up on this new signal. People who can help you financially are being drawn to you on a subconscious level. They feel pulled toward you without understanding why. Opportunities are magnetizing themselves to your life because you're no longer repelling them with scarcity energy. Scovel Shinn revealed this invisible mechanism when she taught that the invisible forces are ever working for man who is always pulling the strings himself. You're not at the mercy of random circumstances. You're not a victim of external conditions. You're the one pulling the strings through your consciousness, through your vibration, through the signal you're broadcasting every moment. Change the signal, and you change what responds to you. Right now, as this new frequency emanates from you, helpful people are noticing you differently. That person who has connections you need is suddenly thinking about you. The potential client who could change your financial situation is being divinely nudged in your direction. The opportunity that seemed closed is reopening because the energy around you has transformed. You don't have to chase these things down. They're being drawn to you by the magnetic pull of your elevated consciousness. This is why maintaining your new frequency is so critical. Every time you slip back into worry, doubt, or scarcity thinking, you're temporarily switching back to the old signal and confusing the people and opportunities that were moving toward you. Let me show you how to lock in this new frequency so it becomes your default setting. Write, "I trust the path," if you're ready to release control and let abundance flow through unexpected channels. As your frequency continues to shift and stabilize at this new level of abundance consciousness, something fascinating is happening in the invisible realm around you. Opportunities are being drawn into your life with the same irresistible force that pulls iron filings toward a magnet. You don't have to hunt them down. You don't have to force or manipulate or convince anyone of anything. The magnetism happens automatically as a natural consequence of your elevated vibration. Florence Scovel Shinn gave us the perfect affirmation for this state. I am a perfect, non-resistant instrument for God's plan of abundance for me. That word, non-resistant, is the key that unlocks everything. Most people are unknowingly resisting their good through doubt, unworthiness, fear, or the belief that receiving must be hard. But when you become non-resistant, when you're like an open channel with no blockages or kinks in the line, abundance flows through you effortlessly. Opportunities don't have to fight their way to you. They glide in naturally because nothing is pushing them away. This non-resistance is a state of allowing, of receptivity, of trust. It's the opposite of striving and struggling. It's knowing that the universe wants to prosper you even more than you want to be prospered. And your only job is to get out of your own way and let it happen. Every time you catch yourself doubting or worrying, you're creating resistance. Every time you return to trust and certainty, you're opening the channel wider. Now, I need to address something that might be creating invisible resistance in your life without you even realizing it, and this is where real transformation happens. Deep in your subconscious mind, you're carrying a money story, a collection of beliefs about wealth that you absorbed before you were old enough to question them. Maybe you grew up hearing, money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford that, or rich people are greedy. Perhaps you watched your parents fight about finances and learned that money causes pain. Or maybe you were taught that being spiritual means being poor, that wanting wealth is somehow wrong or selfish. These beliefs are operating in the background of your consciousness like invisible programming, sabotaging your prosperity without your conscious awareness. Scovel Shinn revealed the mechanism behind this when she taught that the game of life is a game of boomerangs. A man's thoughts, deeds, and words return to him sooner or later with astounding accuracy. Whatever you've been thinking and speaking about money has been creating your financial reality with perfect precision. If your internal story says money is hard to get, life will reflect that back to you. If your beliefs whisper that you're not worthy of wealth, circumstances will prove you right. But here's the liberating truth. That story isn't who you are. It's just programming, like software running on a computer. And software can be rewritten. The beliefs you absorbed as a child were someone else's limitations, someone else's fears, someone else's misunderstanding of how prosperity works. They served a purpose for a time, perhaps keeping you safe or helping you fit in with your family environment. But they're obsolete now. They're actively working against you, creating resistance in your magnetic field, blocking the opportunities that are trying to reach you. The transformation you're experiencing right now is deleting that old programming and installing new software aligned with your divine right to prosperity. Let me show you exactly how to complete this reprogramming process. Type, I release old money stories if you're ready to let go of beliefs that no longer serve you. The beautiful thing about what's happening as you read these words is that the transformation isn't something you have to force or manufacture through willpower. Simply by engaging with this message, by opening yourself to these truths, your subconscious programming is being rewritten. Those limiting beliefs about money that have been running in the background for decades are dissolving like fog in sunlight. You don't have to dig them all up and analyze them one by one. You don't have to relive every painful money memory from childhood. The light of truth is doing the work automatically. Florence Scovel Shinn taught a powerful practice she called denials and affirmations. A denial isn't pretending something doesn't exist. It's refusing to give power to the illusion of lack. It's saying to that old belief, you have no authority over me anymore. You're not the truth of who I am. And then, immediately following with an affirmation, a declaration of what is actually true. Abundance is my natural state. Prosperity is my divine right. Infinite supply flows to me now. This practice rewrites the code, deletes the old files, and installs new programming aligned with reality instead of fear. What most people don't realize is that those limiting beliefs about money aren't actually yours. They were never the real you. Before anyone taught you that money was scarce or hard to get, or that you weren't worthy of wealth, you existed in a completely different state of consciousness. As a child, before the conditioning set in, you naturally expected your needs to be met. You trusted. You received without questioning your worthiness. You didn't worry about lack because the concept hadn't been programmed into you yet. That original state of abundance consciousness is still within you, buried under layers of false teaching and painful experiences, but not destroyed. It's like a diamond, covered in dirt. The diamond was always there, always valuable, always perfect. The dirt just temporarily obscured it. This activation you're experiencing is washing away that dirt, revealing the truth that was always underneath. You are a being designed for prosperity, created with the capacity for unlimited abundance. Scovel Shinn understood this when she declared that man was given power and dominion over all created things, including the power to access unlimited supply. This isn't arrogance or entitlement. This is recognizing your true nature as a spiritual being having a human experience. You're not separate from the creative force of the universe. You're an expression of it, and that creative force is abundant by nature. Look at nature itself. Millions of seeds from one tree, countless stars in the sky, infinite grains of sand on beaches, abundance everywhere you look. Your natural state mirrors that universal abundance because you're made of the same essence. Scarcity was taught to you. Limitation was learned. Fear about money was conditioned into you. But none of that is the original you, the authentic you, the you that existed before the world covered you with its limiting beliefs. Right now, you're being restored to that original abundant state, remembering who you were before forgetting, reclaiming the power that was always yours. Now let me reveal what happens when you fully embody this restored state of consciousness. Comment, I remember my power. If you can feel yourself reconnecting with this original abundance within you. As you reconnect with your original abundant state, something profound is happening at the deepest levels of your being. There are patterns within you, dormant codes for success and prosperity that have been sleeping, waiting for the right moment to activate. Think of them like seeds that carry the complete blueprint for a massive tree, but they need the right conditions to germinate. This message, this moment, your willingness to receive, these are the conditions that flip the switch and wake up what's been dormant inside you. Florence Scovel Shinn called this your divine design, and she taught something that should make you sit up and pay attention. There is a place that you are to fill and no one else can fill, something you are to do, which no one else can do. You're not here by accident. You have a unique purpose, a specific role in the grand design of existence, and prosperity is part of that design. Because you need resources to fulfill your purpose. The universe isn't going to give you a mission and then withhold the means to accomplish it. That would make no sense. These abundance codes within you aren't just about making you wealthy for wealth's sake. They're about positioning you to do what you came here to do, to impact the lives you're meant to impact, to create what you're meant to create. Your breakthrough isn't just for you. It's for everyone whose life will be touched by the fully expressed, financially free version of you. When you step into prosperity, you're not just changing your own life. You're changing the lives of everyone in your sphere of influence. What makes these codes so powerful is that once they're activated, they work automatically. You don't have to constantly think about prosperity or force things to happen. These patterns operate like invisible software running in the background of your consciousness, automatically attracting money, resources, helpful people, and opportunities to you. It's like setting your internal GPS to abundance and then letting it guide you without consciously navigating every turn. Scovel Shinn understood this automatic nature of divine prosperity when she taught that "Thy kingdom come" means the kingdom of harmony, health, wealth, peace, and abundance. The kingdom isn't something you build through struggle. It's something that comes to you, that manifests around you when you align with its frequency. Once these codes are active, prosperity becomes your default setting instead of something you have to chase. The transformation happening right now is switching these codes from dormant to active. You might not feel it dramatically, but trust that at the cellular level, at the energetic level, at the level of your consciousness, patterns are shifting. Old circuits that led to lack are being disconnected. New pathways to abundance are being established. Your internal programming is being upgraded from scarcity operating system to prosperity operating system. This isn't something that happens once and then you have to maintain it through constant effort. Once the codes are truly activated, they become part of your natural functioning, like breathing or your heartbeat. You don't have to remember to breathe. Your body does it automatically. Similarly, once these abundance codes are fully online, attracting prosperity becomes as natural and automatic as any other function of your being. Let me show you. What signs to watch for that confirm these codes are active and working. Write, "My codes are activated," if you can sense this deep internal shift taking place. Pay attention to what's happening in your body right now as you absorb these words. Some of you might be noticing subtle sensations that you could easily dismiss as nothing. Maybe there's a lightness in your chest, like a weight you didn't know you were carrying has suddenly lifted. Perhaps you feel warmth spreading through your core, or a gentle tingling in your hands, or along your spine. Some people describe it as a buzzing sensation, an aliveness, an energy moving through them that wasn't there before. Don't ignore these signals. They're not your imagination running wild. They're physical evidence that the energetic shift is actually occurring. Your body is registering the transformation before your mind fully comprehends it. Florence Scovel Shinn taught her students to pay attention to these internal signals when she wrote, "I have a wonderful feeling that the expected has happened." That feeling comes first, before the physical manifestation. It's your spirit recognizing truth before your circumstances reflect it. This is how you know the activation is real and working. The change begins internally, energetically, and then ripples outward into your physical reality. If you're feeling something right now, even something subtle, that's confirmation. Your frequency is shifting. Your codes are coming online. Your magnetic field is recalibrating to abundance. Trust what you're feeling, even if it seems small or insignificant. The most powerful transformations often begin with the quietest whispers. Now here's where you can exponentially accelerate this entire process. And this might be the most important thing I share with you today. The secret to making money show up faster, to strengthening this new frequency and locking it in permanently, is gratitude practiced before the manifestation appears. Not gratitude for what you already have, though that's valuable too. I'm talking about thanking the universe right now for the money that's already on its way to you, but hasn't arrived yet. This practice creates a powerful energetic bridge between your current reality and your abundant future. When you genuinely thank the universe for abundance that isn't visible yet, you're doing something profound. You're living as the future version of yourself who already has the money, who's already experiencing the breakthrough, who's already living in prosperity. That future version wouldn't be hoping or wishing. They'd be grateful. They'd be celebrating. They'd be in the energy of having received. Scovel Shinn understood this principle deeply, drawing from the biblical teaching that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Gratitude before manifestation is faith made tangible. It's you declaring to the universe that you trust the process so completely that you're already celebrating the outcome. This level of certainty sends an incredibly powerful signal that magnetizes your good to you with accelerated speed. Feel genuine appreciation right now for the money traveling toward you. Thank the universe for the opportunities being arranged behind the scenes. Be grateful for the people who are about to bless you financially. Express thanks for the unexpected channels that are opening up. This isn't pretending or faking emotions. This is tapping into the truth of what's already unfolding in the spiritual realm. Let me show you exactly what to watch for over the next few days as proof this is working. Type, "Thank you for my abundance," if you're ready to practice this grateful certainty right now. Over the next 24 to 72 hours, something important is going to happen that many people miss because they're looking for something massive and obvious. Your breakthrough isn't going to announce itself with fireworks on. Day 1. What you're watching for are the small signs, the subtle synchronicities, the little confirmations that prove your signal has changed and the universe is responding. These signs are like the first drops of rain before a downpour, insignificant on their own, but evidence that something much bigger is coming. You might check your email and discover a refund you'd forgotten about. Maybe someone who owes you money suddenly remembers and pays you back. You could find cash in a coat pocket you haven't worn in months, or receive an unexpected gift, or notice that a subscription you thought was paid through next month actually has credit remaining. Perhaps someone buys you lunch when you were about to pay, or you get a discount you weren't expecting, or an opportunity presents itself that could lead to income. Florence Scovel Shinn taught her students to affirm, "I now receive strange and wonderful gifts." And that's exactly what starts happening when your frequency shifts. These aren't accidents or coincidences. They're the universe's way of confirming that yes, your activation is working, yes, your magnetic field has changed, yes, abundance is now flowing toward you. Don't dismiss these small signs as insignificant. They're proof of concept. They're showing you that the invisible shift in your consciousness is creating visible changes in your circumstances. Each small sign is building momentum, creating a pathway for larger amounts to flow through. The worst thing you could do right now is let doubt creep in because you don't see a massive windfall immediately. That doubt would switch you back to the old frequency and disconnect the flow that's just beginning. Trust the process. Stay in gratitude. Notice and celebrate every sign, no matter how small, because each one is confirmation that everything I've shared with you is working exactly as it should. Now here's something that will multiply your prosperity faster than almost anything else, and this is where the truly abundant people separate themselves from those who stay stuck in cycles of barely enough. When you help someone else access this same abundance, when you share this message with someone who needs a breakthrough, you're activating a spiritual law that Florence Scovel Shinn called the law of circulation. She declared with absolute certainty, "What I do for others, I do for myself." Think about how circulation works in your body. Blood flows out from your heart to nourish your entire system, and then it flows back, carrying oxygen and nutrients. If the circulation stops, if the blood just pools in one place without flowing, that part of your body dies. Abundance works the same way. It's meant to circulate, to flow through you to others and then back to you multiplied. When you hoard it, grip it tightly, or refuse to help others access what you've received, you create stagnation that blocks more from coming. But when you become a channel of blessing to others, when you share what you've learned, when you help someone else break through their financial limitations, you're essentially telling the universe that you trust the supply so completely that you're already giving from it. That trust and generosity create an energetic vacuum that the universe rushes to fill with even more abundance. Let me show you the final piece that locks all of this together permanently. Comment, "I am a channel of blessing," if you're ready to multiply your abundance by helping others. This is where your journey truly begins, not where it ends. Everything you've absorbed in this time we've spent together has planted seeds, activated codes, shifted frequencies. You're not the same person who started reading this message. Something fundamental has changed, and over the coming days and weeks, you're going to see evidence of that change in ways that might surprise you. If you found value in what we've explored here, if something resonated deep in your spirit, I'd love for you to subscribe to this channel. This is just one piece of a much larger conversation about prosperity, divine alignment, and stepping into the life you were designed for. There's so much more I want to share with you, and subscribing ensures you won't miss the next revelation that's meant for you. And listen, if you made it all the way here to the end, that says something about you. Most people would have clicked away within the first minute. But you stayed. You absorbed. You allowed the transformation to happen. Leave a comment saying, "This message was meant for me, so I know you were here, so I can see that this resonated with your spirit." There's power in declaring it publicly, in claiming it for yourself. Hit that like button too, because it helps this message reach other people who need exactly what you just received. Someone in your life, or someone you'll never meet, needs this breakthrough as much as you did. Your simple action helps that happen. Before you go, there's another video I put together that takes this even deeper. It's right there on your screen. Click it and continue with me. Let's keep this momentum going, keep this frequency rising, keep your breakthrough unfolding. I'll see you there.